Finally, you are here in my kitchen and we're going to meal prep together. I hope you're ready. First, long form content. I'm excited and I can't wait to show you what we're going to cook today. Veg Mom Go. You already know. So now we're going to soak our beans first. I like to soak mine overnight. It makes it so much easier to cook in the Instant Pot. So now that we have drained our beans, we're going to rinse them thoroughly to make sure that we have clean beans to put in the Instant Pot. We're going to transition these beans over to the actual Instant Pot install or whatever the inside is called. We're going to put in about 2 cups of beans. I like to make sure that I have enough to last me for a few days. Sometimes I have to make some more in the middle of the week, but it's okay. Now the rest of it I'm going to put in the freezer because I'm definitely going to use these again. And it also saves me money. So I spent a lot less on the dried beans than the canned beans. And then once I've soaked them, they're already pre-soaked for future cooking, for any kind of thing I want to just throw it into. Now we're going to season this. First, we got to make sure we have enough water inside of it. And then we want to make sure to add some salt and some garlic. It's actually one of those easy recipes where you don't have to think too much. And we're going to add some olive oil to make sure it doesn't stick. I like my beans to be a lot softer than probably other people. And some people like a little bite to theirs, but I like mine to be easy to put into a salad, and I don't want too much crunch. I have ways to get that texture somewhere else. Now it makes it so much easier in the Instant Pot to cook these beans only on a few minutes. Even though it says 23 or 25 minutes, it actually is going to be way faster than that. Now the next thing is making sure that my family and I have enough fruit to last us this week. Normally we have pears and apples and we can rinse those on the go, but things like strawberries or any kind of berries or grapes, we have to pre-wash, and I want to make sure that they're thoroughly clean, no mold or anything on it. So first I'm going to rinse them off, then I'm going to put them in a bowl with some water and some vinegar and let that sit. My daughter is always eating strawberries even when it's not strawberry season. I know we want to try to eat more things in season, but that's just not the case all the time. If you're a mom and you know your child finds something that they actually want to eat, you're going to want to make sure they have more of that in store and easy access. Now that we're letting the strawberries sit, I'm going to prep my next fruit, which is going to be grapes. I love to have grapes, but I hate cleaning grapes. And actually, while you continue to follow me, you'll notice I don't like to clean a lot of things, but I like a lot of veggies and fruit. So sometimes I have to get in there. A lot of times my husband cleans the grapes for me, which is so sweet of him. And he has his whole technique. One day I have to record it and show it to you, but this is mine. I'm just taking the grapes. I hate getting dirty grapes, or when you go to someone else's house, their grapes are already dirty, or they just try to serve it to you. No, I clean every single grape to make sure that there is nothing growing on it. And then with his technique, he adds ice, so I add ice too. It makes it a little colder. It actually does store a lot longer. It makes it a little discolored sometimes, but who cares? It tastes amazing. Now the strawberries are ready to be rinsed off, and we're going to make sure that the nothing spotted or moldy is on the strawberries. I can't stand that. I know that sounds extra, but I just don't want it. I want to dry off all of my berries and make sure they're thoroughly dried before I store them in the refrigerator. And it's so funny. The first time I tried this, I didn't think it was going to work, but it actually stores a lot longer when you rinse them in vinegar and water. And also, like I said, it just makes it easier for people to just grab and go. Now, the next thing I'm going to prep is my celery. And if you follow me, you already know that I drink celery juice as much as humanly possible. I try it for every day, but weekends is what it is. Now I'm going to take my vegetable brush and scrub every single one of those things thoroughly clean before I have to cut off the ends. This is just so important to me because I hate seeing like the moldy or dark ends. I want to see very clean ends of my celery, and I make sure every single one of those are clean and ready to go into the juicer. I have an old juicer. I'm not ready yet to transition to a more modern one, and that's only because, budgets. That's just what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my mason jar and my funnel and put my celery juice inside. And I try to do this every night so that I don't have to rush and prepare in the morning with all the transition of school and work. Is just a lot. Now you saw that I have the celery in a little bag, which I use to catch them because again, my juicer doesn't make it bone dry. It actually has some juice left in there, and I want every bit of it because I've already spent the money for this celery. Now that celery is ready to go for the next morning, I normally would store it just for overnight in the refrigerator, nothing else besides that. Now, we are going to the food. We're starting off with the onion, which is something that my whole entire family hates the smell of. So I have all the fans and the windows open, and I only cook half of the onion and store the rest for later. Majority of the time, I'll pre-make it and pre-cut it and put it inside the freezer to make it easier to just grab and go without all the smell. Now, I am not a good I'm not a good cutter, but that's okay. I'm gonna be vulnerable here and let you guys know it's okay. We're just gonna eat it. So it does not need to be pretty. And I know I'm not a chef and I don't have a chefy cut, but that's okay. It's gonna be cooked up. I'm gonna put that aside to get ready to cut my jalapenos and only use the jalapeno part, not the seeds, so it's not spicy. Oh, but my beans are finished and I want to make sure that they are not overcooking. Again, I want them soft, but not too soft, but that's a perfect consistency. And I'm going to use that for everyday use. Now, finishing up my jalapeno, I'm going to chop up with my horrible chopping skills and store my beans once they've cooled down and put them in the refrigerator. Again, everything is about prepping. I'm not assembling a whole meal right now. I don't have time for that. Now, let's make this soup. We're making a lentil tortilla soup, which is one of my favorite go-tos for the week. I'm sauteing my onions first, making sure they're soft. Then I'm adding my garlic as well as my frozen peppers. You can have fresh peppers if you have time like that, but it's easier for me to just buy the peppers already pre-sliced, and I just put them straight into my pot. There's my jalapenos, which makes this a pop of flavor, as well as my tomato paste. Once my tomato paste has covered everything, I add my canned tomatoes, which I think is the fire roasted, and I add my lentils and black beans. And see how thick and creamy it is at the same time. It's so perfect. It is so perfect for this transition of weather. I love something warm at the end of the day. I have corn for sweetness, as well as some vegetable broth. Now, I put it inside of the cans. You saw that because I wanted to get every ounce of that tomato on the sides of the can. And then I put the rest of the vegetable broth in there. Now, it's almost like on not a simmer, but it's medium heat. So it's still kind of boiling. And now we're adding the seasonings. So I have cumin, chili powder, salt, just a few things, oregano, just to make sure that, again, it's full of flavor, and I'm going to eat on this all week. Now, sometimes my kids and my husband want to eat on it, but sometimes they don't. So I just make sure that I'm ready. And as you can see, I made enough that I'll be ready for this week. And I'm putting a little bit of lime juice. Again, if you follow me, you know that I use the bottled lime juice. It's just lime. No preservatives in that lime juice, which is awesome. And now I'm ready to go. I definitely want to make sure I have some quinoa prepped as well. As you can see, I use my Instant Pot multiple times in one evening. But I want to have quinoa also for my salad, and then also as a side, just depending on the day. Now I'm making a cashew cheese. This cashew cheese is one of my simpler recipes, and I have no problem sharing this with you guys. So it's cashews, it's balsamic vinegar, it's obviously nutritional yeast to make it cheesy, salt, pepper, and it depends on you. You can have as much water as you want. It depends on the thickness that you want. So yeah, I like mine really, really thick because I'm going to now assemble my soup. Now this is the next day, not the same night, but I just wanted you guys to see what the soup was going to look like. So I have my lentil tortilla soup with my cashew cheese. I could put so much on there, but I'm going to put it just a little. And then there's my tortillas. There's my processed food, quote unquote, but I didn't want to make my own tortilla chips. Now I eat this with, always make sure I have a half a plate of veggies. It could be raw veggies, it could be steamed veggies, but a half a plate of veggies. And you made it. We did a quick little meal prep. As you can see, Veg Mom Go is a channel for people who want to eat healthy, have a chaotic life, and doesn't have a lot of time in the kitchen. So join me for more ideas that will inspire you to eat on your best journey. See you next time.